Nigeria Info Port Harcourt, 92.3 that is. Remember, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're active on X, Nigeria Info PH is the handle. Right about now, I'd like us to look at a current issue, should I say trending issue, and it has to do with the APC. Now, on Tuesday, we saw a state high court rule on what the authentic leadership of the Rivers APC is. And we were told by the court that Emeka Beke's led executive is the authentic leadership. However, we've seen reactions, many plethora of reactions to that judgment. And the most striking one of all of the reactions is that of the National Working Committee. Now, they are saying, and if I remember accurately, they are saying that they stand with the caretaker leadership of the party in Rivers State, led by Tony Okocha. You know, they made mention to the fact that Emeka Beke had been suspended from the party alongside one other person who, of course, I think was the legal advisor of the Emeka Beke-led executive. And they said that the matter is in the appeal court, and the party is wondering why Emeka Beke-led executive thought it wise to go initiate another court case at a state high court. All right. Of course, we talked about Tony Okocha's reaction to that. We saw that reaction during the big stories. He insists is still a member of the leader, the boss of the APC in Rivers State. Joining me to react to latest developments as it relates to the APC in Rivers State is Darlington Nwauju, who is, according to the State High Court, the APC spokesperson in Rivers State. Welcome on the show, and good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me again, man of the people.
Yes, the situation, calls for having you on the show. So my first question is, how are you reacting to the comments made by, I think, the National Secretary of the party? What are your reactions to that? Or how is the
National Assistant Secretary actually?
Okay.
Mr. Festus Fontan.
Okay.
Now, the first reaction of the validly elected executives of the party is that of utter consternation. In fact, it sent very serious shocks down our spines, given the fact that we are in a constitutional democracy and we have separation of powers, and that the powers of the courts are inherently provided for in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that the same courts in Nigeria had once in 2019 barred Rivers State APC from contesting general elections, even when the party at the center, or the ruling party as it were, is the APC. And so we shudder at the reasoning and the logic behind them. Someone who holds the high office of a national working committee member of a political party, completely lacking in basic information about the party. So that was the first shock. And that was the reaction that I'm trying to put across to you.
Okay, so you're saying, if I understood you correctly, that the assistant secretary at the national level is lacking in knowledge as it relates to setting events.
Completely so.
Okay.
1,000 times so.
So you're saying some of what he has put out there, for example, saying that there is a high court judgment against Emeka Beke, initiated by, I think, the party.
That is fallacious. Now, what we had was that in sometime in April of 2023, there was a suit against Chief Emeka and the state legal advisor, Barrister in Chibudike, for cutting to suspend them from the party. Mark the use of the word, suspend them from the party. And afterwards, that was actually an order or a ruling by a vacation judge, Justice DSQ of the State High Court. And ordinarily speaking, every ex parte order expires after 14 days.
Okay.
And now, assuming without conceding that the basis on which the dissolution of the elected executives of our party was announced on November the 22nd last year was the so-called judgment of court. We now ask a simple question. How come this judgment was not canvassed or talked about or brought to the notice of the honorable judge who handled the matter? Because mere advancing or canvassing content of that particular judgment, of that particular suit, and very specific, it was suit number PHC by CS plus 975/2023. And so that there was never a judgment in any court in the geographical state called Nigeria cutting short the tenure of elected executives of APC in Rivers State. And I just mentioned to you that there was an interim order, an ex parte order, which in law ceases to exist after 14 days.
But let me come in now. Yes, it expires at most after 14 days. But I've been told by certain lawyers that even though it expires, it still would need to be vacated or else it stands. And by the way, the actions taken during the validity of that ex parte order cannot be easily reversed as well.
Now, let me also inform you. That is why I said there was no judgment anywhere. Now, what did the order say? What was the content of the order? Those lawyers who you spoke with or who interacted with you, did they or have they read the content of the court pronouncement? The ruling said that order would only be enforced, the suspension would only be enforced by the approval or with the approval of the National Working Committee of the party under Abdullahi Adamu. And we are all aware that it took 7 months after those processes in court that they are now referring to before the National Working Committee announced illegally, I must repeat and I must emphasize, the dissolution of the ESCO of APC University. So now, assuming that order was enforceable or was still enforced, how come even after the ruling of Justice Darlington that Chief Emeka was still representing the party at the national level, still attending meetings, and was in fact still being paid his salary? So what was the argument all about? So going forward, the argument that the so-called resolution is resultant from that order from the Justice Darlington court, it is complete falsehood, complete fallacy, it is deception, and it's an afterthought.
Okay.
And that was why they were mistaking a suspension order from a judgment. These are two different things.
Okay, can I?
Again, they were mistaking the fact that particular matter, the particulars of that matter, had to do with 2 officers of the party and not all the executives of the party. Now, assuming again without considering that order was affecting the entire state structure, the state executive committee of the party. What was the offense of the local government executive? And what was the offense of the ward executive?
All right. Can I come in now?
The argument is neither here.
Can I come in now? Now that you've said it is you described it as an afterthought, right, from the APC National. The next question is: do you think the move is political? The move to what's the best word now to use? The move to side with Tony Okocha, the move to ensure that Tony Okocha stays as the caretaker chairman. Do you think it's political? What do you think the National would gain in forcing Tony Okocha on APC stalwarts? I can say that, right?
There's nothing else they will gain other than crisis. There is nothing else in achieving other than fomenting crisis. Do not forget that this is a party that has been embroiled in intractable crisis, if you like, at different electoral cycles. In 2015, we had our challenges with electoral violence in the state. Our members were killed. Human beings were mauled down in Rivers State. And up till today, nobody has accounted for those individuals. Their families are still in shock due to the losses they incurred. People lost properties in the name of setting up the APC structure in Rivers State. In 2019 again, the party suffered another round of shock when the likes of Tony Okocha promoted a certain Ibrahim Umar against the party. And at the end of the day, the party was delisted and kicked out of the ballot, and so we could not contest elections in 2019. In 2022, the same character, Tony Okocha, came up again to promote another judge or law in a matter that was seeking to invalidate the Congress of our political party, which would have also led us to not having or fielding candidates again in 2023. So, how can you voice such a character on the over 500,000 members of the APC in the state, and we expect it to stand?
All right. I do have a commercial break, but when I come back, I would be asking you some further questions. Would you still want to serve as spokesperson of a party that does not appreciate your service? These and many other questions, so please do stay on the line. 4:30 p.m. You're listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. We're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, and we're active on X, Nigeria Info PH. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. You can follow me on social, D Kalada. What are we talking about? We are looking at a statement believed to have been released by the National Working Committee of the APC as it relates to the I won't call it political drama, the party drama here in River State, where we've got factions who went to courts and they asked the courts what is the authentic leadership. Tell us, and they have been told. However, the NWC is saying that the court has made a mistake. Even Tony Okocha did say the court made a mistake. Well, let's take a listen.
It will interest all of you to know that before that judgment, there was a judgment that had sacked the APC Executive Committee, which gave rise to the establishment of the Caretaker Committee, to which he had appealed. And the matter is still pending before the Court of Appeal. He could not wait for his own appeal at the appellate level and went on to institute another case. As far as the NWC is concerned, this is a total abuse of court process. We, as an NWC, deliberated on the matter and are reiterating the fact that we are still recognizing the Okocha-led Caretaker Committee. We, of course, had also appealed in his own judgment that is secured. And, of course, it's an elementary law that first in time matters. There is no judgment by any court, no matter how ridiculous or no matter how small the court is, that you are going to jettison. We are people of law. The APC respects every court. But to us, it's an abuse of court process. There is a case that you are going on appeal. So why going back to another court to go and institute another case? And besides, the APC as a corporate body was not joining the suit.
All right, so you just said is it assistant secretary at the national level of the party, the deputy national secretary, I beg your pardon, Festus Fonta, saying that Emeka Beke is not recognized by the party. With me on the show is the APC spokesperson, as recognized by the State High Court. I'm talking about Darlington Nwauju. Darlington, welcome back on the show. You had him there. You had Mr. Fonta speak.
Thank you very much, man of the people.
Yeah, you had...
It was not the court that made me spokesperson of the APC.
Okay.
I got the votes of delegates on the 16th of October 2021. And I got 1,041 votes. I was voted for. I filled the form, and I canvassed for people, delegates to vote for me. Now, going straight to respond to what Mr. Festus Fonta, like I said, out of sheer misinformation and very caustic ignorance.
Okay.
Mind the use of my language.
Okay. Now, let me pause you. Sorry.
Now, let me tell you. Hold on. This line of
okay. Go ahead.
Now, the suit number PAC/CS/3572/2020 was filed instituted in State High Court here in Port Harcourt. It was not filed by Emeka Beke. It was not filed by Emeka Beke. It was filed on behalf of the aggrieved members of the state executive by Mr. Samson Metetebon, who is the state secretary of the All Progressive Congress. And so, how can you begin to put something on nothing, as the lawyers will always say? Emeka Beke did not institute any action against the APC in Nigeria. It was Samson Metetebon and the rest of us who felt aggrieved with the actions of the. So his explanations is, to the best of my knowledge, ignorant.
All right. Now, the reason why I played that sound bite was because I wanted to throw a question at you. Do you think the aggrieved members of the executive, like you've described it, who took the matter to court, should continue with your services to the party, given that the national wing of the party does not recognize or does not want to align with you? Because you've seen and you've said it's an afterthought, which means that they are on the side of Tony Okocha. Doesn't it mean that, we should let them? Why will in ourselves with local parlance?
Now, let me quickly say this. I use the word agreed in the context of prior to the decision of the Honorable Court on Monday. And so we felt that the court should step in to interpret our own constitution, having written to the National Secretariat, advising them and pointing out the lacuna in their own very decision. And so, and they failed to respond, they failed to invite us, and they failed to even set up any panel or investigating committee as prescribed by the relevant portions of our Constitution, 2022 Constitution, that was amended and passed on the 26th of March, 2022. So we are saying that whether the party is siding with a certain Tony Okocha or not, the position of members of the All Progressive Congress, not GDI members, please, mark the use of words, not GDI members, not what they call PDAPC. That is not what we are talking about. The genuine members of the APC, those who set up APC in Rivers State, those who were called Islamists, they said they brought the Islamic party to come and Islamize Rivers State, we will not allow them, no way, those are the persons who are now sponsoring crisis in the APC. So I'm saying that the original members of the APC will not allow our party structures to be hijacked by strangers. You cannot have a tenant issuing with notices to his landlord. It's not possible.
All right, so you're going to fight, because my next question is, what would be the next move of the Emeka Beke-led executive, or the members of that executive?
On the fact that we have a valid judgment of court, and everybody who is a student of the Constitution and the constitutional democracy must have to obey it in the interest of the rule of law. We have an order of court which has clearly spelled out and enunciated the errors in the decision of the National Working Committee, the emptiness of their claims. There was never a time they came to court to canvass that we were in another court over the same issue, which of course would have amounted to what lawyers refer to as forum shopping. But there was nothing like that, because the matter was in fact instituted by Samson Metetego and those of us who felt that what the National was doing was completely unacceptable.
All right. So you're saying you will continue fighting for the party, but I'm wondering.
We are not bothered for fighting. I'm fighting. I do not have the muscle to fight.
Okay.
Now, let me even inform you, man of the people. Before this period, I had lived some private decisions with my wife, and I must say this without equivocation. I am never desperate for any positions at all, whether in the party or outside. In fact, where I am today was not by my personal effort or hard work. It's just by the grace of God, because there are thousands of persons very, very qualified to speak for the APC in Rivers State. In case you do not know, there are persons who speak better than myself within the APC structure. And so that I find myself speaking for the APC is only an act of God. And so I am always moved by the orchestration of the architect of the universe.
All right.
And I would always allow him to lead me. I am not desperate at all. Life does not start and end with being a member of the APC.
All right, let's quickly now take some calls as it relates to this very issue. APC National Working Committee sides with Tony Okocha, and I've been speaking with the spokesperson of the APC in Rivers State, Darlington Nwauju, who is saying that statement was made in error. But before I do that, Darlington Nwauju, I was going to ask you this question. The Deputy National Secretary did mention that they have appealed the State High Court's decision, And they talked about, going back to status quo before the matter went to court. So that means they're saying Tony Okocha has gone back to being caretaker chairman. What do you make of that? What's your response to that?
Man of the river. I wish you could get a lawyer to explain to you what it means. If there is a valid court judgment or valid order of a court, the only way that order cannot be obeyed or implemented is if a higher court sets it aside. The Court of Appeal is on vacation, and I know that the processes for challenging the decision of the High Court is open to those who feel aggrieved by the very sound judgment of Justice apropos of the State High Court.
All right.
Now, let me also mention, let me use this opportunity to mention that you see the consistent inconsistency on the part of Tony Okocha and his group. Now, you claim that the State High Court has no jurisdiction to hear this matter, but you are on the other hand wagging your tail over the decision of Justice Q that issued an expert ruling in 2023. You are celebrating it, you are bringing it up, you are trying to use it to hoodwink the members of the public, and you have considered in hoodwinking the National Working Committee, because with that singular pronouncement by the Deputy National Secretary of our party, it clearly shows that that committee has currently constituted has been hoodwinked by the lives of those Okocha.
All right, then. All right, let's take calls now. It's 4:42 p.m. Let's get your thoughts on this. The question I'm asking is, what do you make of the APC and to the court judgment? Remember, that question is on Facebook as we are live, on YouTube as well, because we are live there as well, and on X where we're active, Nigerian for paid for all three platforms. Bright No Yellow says Emeka Bekan's executives should hold their offices very strong, because someone talking about weaken Abuja is using the power of the president to do all he can to control both the APC and the PDP, using Tony Okocha as his tool. All right. The actor Chris says, I think the National Working Committee of the APC must obey the court rulings. Only a superior court can upturn the lower court decision. The National Working Committee should not be allowed to be used by one desperate person, because if they do, they will regret it in the future, just like the National PDP was frustrated because of the same man the APC is not working with. Lawrence Friday says, for me it is clear that one man in Abuja is doing this, but one thing he fails to understand is that it is destroying both parties, the APC and the PDP, which can be difficult during election period. Yama Ernest says, all these conflicts of court judgments is too embarrassing. Does contempt of court order work in Nigeria again? And that's a very good question you're asking in Yama Ernest. I wonder as well. But let's go to the phone line. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. Hard facts at Mr. Batubo. I completely agree with the APC Rivers State spokesperson, Mr. Nwauju, that the purported expert of GABDQ was no life of elementary. Every explanation is fiery and nation of absolute truth. It seems I have was pronounced by the court, to my knowledge. Therefore, the ex parte order obtained before Honorable Justice Q died naturally after 14 days. It is my humble submission that if that ex parte order was still alive and subsisting, as the APC National is saying, Tony Okocha would have flaunted it in the suit before Honorable Justice Aproku, brought by Chief Emeka Beke as an abuse of court process, thus robbing the court of jurisdiction to entertain, saying the court wouldn't have entertained the latest suit. Donatu Saru Menemak, Esquire. All right, thank you. Clinton, do hold on a bit. I'll be with you shortly. This one says, please ask your guests, now that the National Working Committee has refused to recognize them, what is their fate? Christian William from Igboch. I think I've asked that question, but I'll ask it again because you asked me to. Clinton from Boru, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you once more, Kalada.
Yeah, welcome.
And greetings to your guests.
All right.
Yeah, I have listened carefully to the submission from Mr. Darlington Nwauju. He is saying that some persons were aggrieved, actions were taken by the APC National against those that are agreed by the party, those that are agreed that went to court. Now, you went to court because you agreed, because actions were taken against you. And you went to court and you did not sue those that took that action against you. How does that make sense? Because the APC, like I know, were not party to the suit. Even whether it was instituted by the secretary or by Baker Beke, whoever instituted that case should have filed the suit against the APC, which is a corporate body, but they didn't do that. So it makes no sense. Now, Darlington Nwauju also said that they are the real APC members. And I want to ask Darlington, on what occasion, you should give me one instance where he, as a spokesperson of APC, campaigned for the APC presidential candidate in 2023 as an APC member.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Clinton. We'll talk about that anti-party allegations. Ezekiel from Ubumini, welcome, Ezekiel.
Good afternoon, Canada, once more.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Ezekiel.
Canada, I think in the other side, Tony Okocha said that the court that threw him out of the office has no jurisdiction to interfere in inter-party crisis. The same time, claiming to go for appeal. What does that mean? Secondly, their so-called national executive, both in PDP and APC, these national executives are using River State politicians to shine and make their daily bread. Our politicians are not using their IQ. They don't want to know what is happening in the state, rather than going to speak with the Abuja so-called politicians who don't even know their ward chairman and executive. I am using this opportunity to advise every River State politician that they should be careful, because before they will know in 2007, APC and PDP will have no place to rest politically in Nigeria.
All right, thank you, Ezekiel. I've got to move on. I've got Alozie from Omuma. Alozie, welcome. What's on your mind?
Good evening, man of the people.
Yeah, greetings to you.
First, I want to thank the mouthpiece of leaders of APC, Honorable Darlington, for coming out to explain and give us an in-depth information of what is the real position of the APC of River State and that of the national of the APC. Canada, which they said is very glaring for everybody to see. I listened to Mr. Nwauju when he was explaining this. He was giving you facts and was calling 6 numbers as against what is claimed of that of Tony Okocha, whom I refer to be the acting party chairman of APC, not the APC I belong to. So all this back and front, as we answered me, it will just destabilize the new APC members in this state. People who have belonged to this party since 2014 today.
All right.
So I will advise the National Working Party of APC to look inward, put in cognizance what has happened in 2015, in 2019, and the yesterday of 2023, and leaving with these people who have the majority percentage of people who are real APC members in the state, which I am one of them. Right. I appreciate Mr. Nwauju for his vote.
All right, thank you very much. You've got to go now. Thank you very much, Alozie King. God's Power from Eche would be the last caller for now. God's Power.
Yes, I'll start with a question.
Quickly, please.
The National Working Committee, are there the umbrella that interprets the constitution of the party? Or if you agree in the party, you go to court or you go to seek redress from the National Working Committee, if that one is answered by you or cannot be answered. And again, before Emeka Beke went to State High Court, he has not considered the court that he has already appealed. If that is the true position, he has erred, so he should not jubilate for now.
All right, then.
Until the vacate
All
or
right.
that appeal court has given
All right,
his ruling. You know, he didn't do it very well. And I don't know how judiciary, although you have answered that no two matters and the same in court of law. Because the lawyer should have asked him, have you vacated the one that killed?
All right. God's Power. Thank you. Thank you very much. I get your point. Let's come back to my guest because time is far spent. I've got to go. I have messages to read as well. So quickly, Darlington Nwauju from the last caller is saying, if you've appealed the first matter, why did you go to court for another matter? I wonder if it has any link to the explanation where you said it wasn't Emeka Bekee who initiated the suit.
Yes, let me throw some more light.
Quickly,
I
please.
think, I'm happy with that last question from Gospel. Now, funny enough, the same councils or the same legal representatives who handled the matter that I earlier on referred to, that the first one that issued the interim order or ex parte order against Emeka Bekee and the state legal advisor. His name is Solomon Omo S.A.N. The same legal representative, Solomon Omo S.A.N., was the person that stood on behalf of APC National, Nwauju, and the rest of them in the matter that was instituted by Sam Etetegum. That is one striking fact. Kalaba, are you trying to tell me that somebody who has studied or an educated person that has gotten to the level of a seal and SAN does not know or is not aware if a court or a brother judge has given an order on a particular matter and then an aggrieved person goes to another court on the same matter? Won't that person, the SAN, with the level of his exposure and intelligence and experience in the bar, inform the judge that this same matter has been dealt with or is being dealt with at another court? Don't you think so? I have just told you now that it was the same counsel, Solomon Omo S.A.N., that handled both matters.
Okay.
So now to answer the question, Emeka Bekee is not take APC National to court. It was Sam Etetegum and the rest of the escrows like this.
Okay, now let's quickly, because it's time for us to, let's go quickly, run quickly because it's time for us to wrap up. There's one question that says, now that the National Working Committee is refusing to accept or recognize your executive, what is your fate? What is your next move?
Well, talking about my faith is not in the hands
I'm talking about the executive now, not you personally. I'm talking about the EXCO.
Yes, now if you say what is my faith, as an executive, we just like somebody sent in a message on Twitter also to encourage us to hold on to our position. There is no way we will willingly hand a mandate that was freely given to us on the 16th of October 2021 to an imposter. We will not do so.
All right then. Someone said, is it by force to rule over a people? Darlington and co have been rejected by the party at the national, so they should go and rest. Why are they so desperate? Or why are we so desperate in state? Chima Uzoma with that one. This one says, good day, Kalada. I don't have enough time. I would have to say goodbye at this time, Mr. Darlington Nwauju, but thank you very much for being a part of the show.
It's been wonderful speaking to you again.
All right. Thank you very much. If more developments pop up, I would have to call you again in the future. All right. The line has been disconnected. But let's see. Good day, Kalada. Is your guest trying to drag the party members or the structure with the national? If the members, I understand. But if the party structure, then I must say it's a journey in fertility. They should just openly pledge support for the River State Governor. All right. My time is up. Just stay tuned.